don't care if it takes the entire show today. We will not stop until we figured out all of our gender options. The Kate Daly Show starts now.
Climate experts believe the next ice age is on its way. According to recent evidence, it could come sooner than anyone had expected.
I still love that clip. Leonard Nimoy, Spock, 1974, telling us climate change was going to get us by 1979. I think we survived. I'm pretty sure. And of course we have that lie, and of course the gender option lie, and the liner coming in, and you know, it never ends. It never ends. I hope we're getting. I don't ever want to say I get used to it, but I just hope we can just realize how many lies are being told consistently. So, of course, it's Wednesday. So welcome to your Wednesday. I have Susan Reeve with me in this first hour, and then followed by Melissa in the second hour, as always. And so glad that you're with me. Hi, Susan.
Hi there.
Hi. All right. Okay, before we start, I just wanted to mention Trump is suing the government for, and I love this. I love that he's doing this, $100 million for damages when they raided his home. You know, I love it. I think it's great. I was just actually glad he filed that. I thought it was awesome. I mean, he's probably not going to get anywhere with it, but I love that it's out there. I'm digging it. Anyway, I'm sure you heard about that. Yes,
I did. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it was like inevitable. I was surprised he hadn't done it sooner. And my question always is, why now?
Why now?
I know.
Yeah. You know, it's funny, you know, Megyn Kelly, she's known to have been very, very rough on Trump 2016. Then she kind of lost her career, right? Then she came back and she kind of pretends to be an ultra conservative and on the side of everybody. Anyway, she shows up at the RNC. Then today and yesterday, she's all about throwing him under the bus again and basically saying that he was rambling, it was boring with Elon, and it's his age. And I was just thinking, what a sellout. I mean, you have a lot of Megyn Kellys in the world, but I don't like it. However she feels about Trump, I don't like the lying part of her that tries to utilize him when she wants to and then stab him in the back when she doesn't want to. Like, it just, to me, it just says a lot about where the media is at. And even on this side of the aisle, how bad the media is. Right? Anyway, just had to be said.
Can I just, in terms of people who are like flip-floppers, you're surprised when they turn on Trump. Kellyanne Conway has quit the Trump campaign, and she is becoming a registered foreign agent for Ukraine. Now, what's interesting about that is that she was promoting other people to become vice president candidate. And those people were much more in favor of continuing the war in Ukraine.
Yeah.
And Vance is much softer on that. And of course, Trump has said, we shouldn't even be there, right?
Right.
So he picked Vance. She becomes a foreign agent of, I can't even say it. It's so shocking to me. Ukraine. And then all this stuff is getting leaked, supposedly leaked in the Daily Mail. It talks about Trump is now regretting his choice about Vance.
Yeah.
And insiders are saying it's not true. It's not true.
Well, yeah. And it's the hypocrisy and the weirdness of it all. That's why on the right, we're so trusting. We think that all of the bad mainstream's on the left, and it's not. And I just hope people are seeing it. I think people are starting to. And then I think people that listen to this show are well aware. But for the majority of Americans out there, the hypocrisy and the taking over of media on both sides of the aisle is what I see. And it's just so sad. So anyway, it's disheartening, very, very disheartening and evil because of the brainwashing of America right now. It's just due to the media. Oh, all right. So let's talk hunger. Let's talk food, because everybody's having a hard time at the grocery store right now.
Yes, there was a trigger of a conversation that a woman in Philadelphia had, a Black woman saying it's tragic. It's so hard to go to the grocery store and have to put stuff back because you look at it and it's, $5 for a bell pepper.
Yeah.
And she said, it's just ridiculous that we can't go on this way. And the expectation for a lot of people, honestly, is it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
Which is true. So I came across a book, just kind of out of the blue. It's brand new, by Andy Fisher, called Big Hunger: The Unholy Alliance between corporate America and the anti-hunger groups.
Okay.
The Unholy Alliance.
Okay.
And this book really is raising the question that now we're assuming poverty is inevitable for so many people, and it's not going to get solved. It's just not going to get solved. And it's just going to grow and grow. And so we need an infrastructure, all these food charities, to make it bigger and bigger. And so his book is called Big Hunger. It has become, I was using the analogy like the military industrial complex. It's become the food industrial complex, the feeding hunger industrial complex.
Right.
And think about it, when they announce a new food bank and they're celebrating it and they're ribbon cutting it, like, yay, that's actually a failure of our society and these people, right? So,
and a money laundering post, because so much money goes into these outfits and people do so much to raise money for their hunger banks. And I think it's a huge money laundering pit where money gets stolen and people get pockets lined. And you have a situation where they've realized, hey, you know, we don't have, like Uncle Milty says, you don't see skin and bones almost dead on the street going, I'm starving. You don't see that in America, right? And so that's why they had to switch from the word hunger to but what is the term? It just left my mind. But it's not.
They call it feeding.
Yeah,
they call it feeding.
But it's food insecurity. It's called food insecurity.
So a person involved in this, I'll address that, said we really should not be using the word hunger. People aren't coming to us out of hunger.
Right.
They're coming to us so that they can have more money to pay rent, utilities, and things that have become really unaffordable. Of course, rent and housing, really unaffordable. And then if they can get some free food, it kind of takes some of the pressure off. He said that's really the truth. People are not starving. But in another sense, what's happening is this huge alliance. Let me just read the statistic. It says in an interview, in 1970s, we only had a few food banks, and that was to address the Rust Belt. Remember when like all the steel mills and all those things were closing? Okay. So it was supposed to be temporary. Today, there are over 200 plus food banks, 60,000 emergency food sites, which are different, 43 million people receiving SNAP, which is the food benefits.
Now,
43 million.
Okay, so I don't know what political bend this guy is, but that wrote this. But is it more about the fact that more people, even though they might not even need it, are applying for benefits, or do you feel that most people are applying? See, I think the whole benefits program is extremely shammy. I think it is very much, just wrought with fraud. And so you get people that stay on this system. And I get not being able to afford food. I get that, because I'm going to the store and going, wow, the bills are huge if you want to feed your dinner to your family. So there's that component. But I wonder if they rushed in to put up more places. This is my question. Putting up more places to make it appear as though everyone needs more assistance as part of the industrial system of food, as far as that industrial, kind of the military complex, like you said, but now it's the food complex, and they benefit off of, like, say, the military one benefits off of war. This benefits off of people's attitude toward the government has to save me, or somebody's got to save me all the time.
Yeah, it's actually more of an alliance with these big corporations. And of course, he's got some liberal solutions, but he's worked in the field for 25 years. But then he goes out and interviews people. And it's this alliance with big corporations that are promoting so much artificial food that goes into the food banks. So with SNAP, it used to be more than 50% of the purchases were coming from fresh farm food. Now it's down to 15%.
Oh, wow.
People are only purchasing 15%
right.
of the fresh farm food. So the food banks have this dilemma. We can take all this free food
right.
from these mega corporations that are creating processed food.
Okay.
Or we can come up with another solution, which many of them have.
Ah, okay. Because I wonder, you know, when they capitalized on the food problem in America, they were focused. Robert Kennedy was focused on just a couple of cities in the South, and he used that because they were very Democrat. So he used this to then project a problem throughout the whole nation, and that was that the whole nation needed welfare, and they started that welfare program. And since then, boy, they've hidden a lot of money or expanded on that welfare program. And I know that that is a different issue than the food prices today, and that people's wages are not ready for the food prices and where they're going to go today. And I know that this has raised a lot of havoc in probably every home in America, right? 95% of the homes in America. And so it's kind of like two different issues. It's like the government side of it pouncing in, trying to create a problem and serve up their solution. And then you have this systemic problem right now of the fact that people are having a hard time buying groceries, period. Right?
Yes. Yes. The middle class is actually shrinking, but you end up with things like this statistic, $6.5 billion of SNAP benefits were on sugary
sugary food. Yeah.
Sugary. And so it's creating a massive health backlash.
Yeah.
So
because that's the cheaper food.
What's that?
That's the cheaper food is the crap. Yeah.
It's promoted $4 billion on advertising for fast food. $4 billion. And so it gets in people's minds.
Right.
And they also mentioned that cooking has really gone out the window thanks to the feminists who said don't slave over a hot stove. Ugh. And so a couple generations now have lost cooking. Now I know you're a big cook.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yes, yes. And you know, that tradition makes food healthier overall.
Yeah,
doesn't have
right.
the preservatives.
But
there's more solutions.
Okay, so the food industrial complex is pushing the crap out onto our families because it's the cheaper option and it gives them this ability to do this.
And it's a pipeline.
And it's a pipeline.
For community.
We'll be right back. More with Susan Reeve on The Kate Daly Show, KateDalyRadio.com. Be right back.
Thanks for listening